Matt,
Justin, how are you?
how's it going?
I'm going well. How are you?
Pretty good.
Excellent. Where are you right now?
I am in Los Angeles, California.
How's the weather there? How are things? Are you celebrating the 4th there?
It's not the 4th yet? Wait, 2nd. Yeah, I'm good. Yes, will I be here? I will indeed. I will indeed not be leaving because I am making both weeds and animal practice this week, so it's a busy week.
You're still shooting weeds. That's crazy.
Yeah, we're in the middle of episode 9 of 13 right now.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, let's start there then. That's great. So you are basically
Going towards the end of... Where are you? New York City?
Toronto.
Toronto!
Canada.
Very nice.
Yeah,
I've heard of it.
You've heard of it. Have you been here? You must have been here.
I have.
Yeah.
Hunter and I went there and did a day of press a season or two ago.
Oh, nice.
Right around the time of the film festival. Lovely. Didn't get to stay long enough, but hopefully we'll get back to the festival in the near future.
Absolutely, and we'll go out for beers and stuff. We'll have a good time.
Sweet.
Well, that's really interesting that you're shooting both right now. So let's start there. So what's your day looking like? Are you going back and forth, or do you at least get a week here and a week there?
Well, you know what it is that we have to do some reshoots on the pilot because we have a new actor, and so weeds. We get a couple little chunks through the season so we can catch up. And so I told the animal practice people, stop, who are you? What are you doing? Off. That what my days off were, so we just slid it right in there. But yeah, it's going to be a crazy one, working through the Saturday and Sunday as well. But could be worse.
Yeah, I would think so. You got your own show now. Crazy.
I mean, you got to work a little hard if they give you a show.
I would think so, yeah. Well, let's talk about this show. So were you looking for a sitcom? Did it come to you? How did this come about?
I wasn't looking for anything. I was doing a play in New York, and Bob Greenblatt emailed me, who used to be, my boss at Showtime and now runs NBC, and said, want to come do a pilot for us? And, the head of NBC calls you. You kind of got to say, well, send it over. Let me take a look.
And what were your impressions the first time you saw it?
Well, it was cool. Then they came, the Russo brothers, who are the directors, executive producers, and the guys who wrote the pilot, came out to New York and saw my play, and we had lunch and sort of pitched, what it could become. I mean, that's the thing about a pilot. You can't just go by. It's not like a movie or a play in which you can go by just what you've got in front of you. You have to think about what can it become, who can these characters become, and they said all the right things, and it seemed definitely like one of the cool things about it was that the character couldn't be farther from Andy Botwin, so it was cool that I wasn't just taking a kind of version of Andy Botwin to a network comedy, and it would be a chance to really try to do a totally different thing, and so there we are.
You said a few things in there I want to touch on. Let's start with the character being similar to Andy. So how do you, as an actor, make it different? Yeah. How do you?
Well, I don't think it's similar at all. That was so that was what it would have killed.
How do you play that though? How do you make sure people don't see it the same because it's still your face?
Well, it is still my face and my voice and my whatever I bring to something. I mean, an actor isn't a total blank piece of paper. Obviously, there's such a thing as casting, but it's best, I think, for the actor not to think about that kind of stuff and try to. The best thing you can do is forget anything you've ever done.
Right.
The best thing an actor can have is no memory, and luckily I've got that covered.
You're doing both characters at the same time right now, so that's got to be a little hard.
That's true. Yeah, a little bit. I mean, we're going to do it for a week, but then I'll finish Weeds. But at this point, Andy Botwin is pretty well ingrained in me. I kind of know what that is, and really, it's the pages give you the start, and hopefully that sends you down the right road.
You said something in there before about what the show can become that you and the Russos were talking about. So what can it become? You said you're doing some reshoots with a new actress.
Yeah. Well, I mean, by that I mean any pilot is like that. If you go back and look at pilots, it's an interesting thing, television and series television, because you start out with some ideas, and then once the pieces start to fall into place, it becomes whatever it's going to become. The actors, I mean, there are actors on our show that came in and it wasn't in any way how it was written in the original one, but then they found a person, they said, oh, this would be great, so let's make it into that, and so that's the exciting thing to see, is it all grows from a seed, and becomes whatever it's going to become. And I don't even know yet. We've done the pilot, and now we're going to go reshoot a bunch of it with Joanna, and so we'll see. But I'm optimistic. I used to say cautiously optimistic, but now I'm going to just change it to optimistic.
Well, you got a good opening slot there after the Olympics for that sneak preview. I
mean, that is about the craziest thing in my career so far, I think.
You think so?
Well,
not working with the monkey, but going after the Olympics?
Well, that's crazy too. Yeah. But no, the idea that our pilot is going to be shown commercial-free following the closing ceremony of the Olympics is not necessarily something I had envisioned, and so that's pretty exciting.
Are you excited for the Olympics? Do you care about the Olympics at all?
You may write, he chants USA, USA.
Okay.
How about that?
I like that. That's good. So who is George Coleman? Tell me about the character.
Yeah, good fucking question. Maybe you could help me. Who is he? He seems to be someone who is has a touch of misanthropy to him. Not always the best with in social situations with people, but a very brilliant doctor, and runs this place the way he likes it run, and is set in his ways. And then a woman who he had feelings for in the past comes around and is suddenly his boss. And so, there it goes. There's your, throw in a monkey, there's a fucking TV show.
How is it working with animals? That's got to be different. I mean, as an actor,
it is. That's another thing. Honestly, this is one of the greatest things about being an actor, is that I never imagined that. And then one day you wake up and say, oh, here's what you're going to be doing today. And that's pretty cool. I think, we discovered Crystal in this. I don't mean we discovered her because she's already very famous.
Yeah.
She's already much more successful than any of us. But in terms of what, the part for, this is another thing that I mean about like shows becoming what they're going to become. In the pilot, it's written as a chimp. But apparently you can't really work with chimps so much anymore because they'll eat your face.
Okay, good reason.
So, not to be blasé or insensitive, but I guess that at 6 years old, I'm told, they become very aggressive. So Crystal is a capuchin monkey, and actually I think it works a lot better than it would have been with just in terms of she's kind of tiny, and so she's jumping around a lot. So she's cool, and then we've got, then it's a unlimited amount of possibilities. Just in the pilot, there were cats and dogs and birds and a python and a pot-bellied pig.
I think I saw some
so hopefully it'll be a regular Marlon Perkins. That's a reference for the old people.
Can you explain?
Was it Marlon Perkins' Animal? I think actually was that called Animal Kingdom? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't know. Sorry.
This is a show that was on PBS, like in the 70s, I think, like when I was a child.
Gotcha.
Yes. Me too. But it was more of a docu show. It was not a fictional narrative show, but
right.
But it was about the world of the animal kingdom. So yeah, I mean that's exciting to see what that could become. I mean, I'm assuming I will be killed or maimed by some sort of animal within the first couple of seasons. But I've had a good run.
Well, you have to be maimed at some point, I think. Just not some sort of elephant.
A very special episode of Animal Practice
for the holiday season.
The lead actor is blinded by
by a python.
By an armadillo.
There you go, armadillo.
Yeah, I don't know. Sure, why not?
What is an animal you want to work with? I mean, now that you have the chance of having all these insane animals on the show, what is one that you think would be cool to work with?
That's a great question, and one I don't have an answer to. What do you think would be a great one? Let's say armadillo.
Armadillos are interesting, sure.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I'd like just to remain injury-free.
Okay, it's a good goal.
So whatever, maybe a cute kitten might be nice.
Hey man,
might be nice.
Be vicious.
That's true. In the first show, we have a thing where a Bengal tiger has. Oh, I forgot to mention that. That was the craziest.
Yeah, that's a huge.
And is giving birth. But then once we did the scene with the cubs, we just used kittens.
Oh, really? That's funny.
No.
I heard you talking about the show feeling old school and modern at the same time. What do you mean by that?
I did say that, didn't I?
You did, yeah.
Well, I guess, yeah, and it was true. It wasn't just one of the things I say and didn't mean, which is usually the case. It's true. I mean, on the one hand, I mean, there's a great tradition of animal movies and television things in Hollywood, from Every Which Way But Loose to BJ and the Bear. Mm-hmm. Also an old person reference. But I think that we this can be a kind of weird, smart NBC comedy at the same time as that stuff. So it may just that's it. It's old school and modern at the same time, and old school and something that I think is new and that we haven't seen before, And then most importantly, of course, the most important part is that we've got like kind of a great cast. Mm-hmm. With a lot of funny people in it who you will be discovering as we go forward. So that's very important.
Let's talk about one of those people, because Bobby Lee, I've seen him a few times up here. He's just funny consistently. Is he like that all the time?
He's insane, and yes, he is. Bobby is a as are many of the people in the cast. He's just a totally committed performer. He has a scene in the pilot where there's a python wrapped around his face, and he's just game to go for it and whatever is going, to make the scene work. And yes, he's extremely funny, and I have a feeling I'm going to be hanging with Bobby Lee, like in our off hours, because he seems to be adventurous.
That's good. Who did you hang with on Weeds? Who did you go closest with?
I see. I hang out with Hunter off set. Actually, he's got a record out now.
Really? What kind of music?
It's like pop singer-songwriter music. It's great. Well, first of all, he was in 2 Broadway musicals in the last couple of years.
Oh wow!
But Mary Louise and I and much of the crew came to see him play at a gig in L.A. Last week, and it's just fantastic. I highly recommend it. I played the single on my iPod several times.
His name? It must be under his name, hey?
Yeah, just Hunter Parrish, and it's currently available on iTunes.
Crazy. Do you still play anything? You used to be in bands, didn't you?
I did when 1,000 years ago. No, I never even pick up a guitar anymore.
Never.
And I'm much happier. I'm much happier just turning it on and listening to it. I don't know. Yeah, I just don't. Yeah.
That's all good. So Weeds is wrapping up. I guess you haven't shot the ending yet, but are you happy? I don't know if you've seen the scripts or not for the whole season, but are you happy how Andy?
We don't know, and actually for the last several seasons I don't ask because it's more fun that way. So no, we get the script days or sometimes a day before we start shooting it. So I'm as it's like it's you're doing kind of like a fan of the show. It comes up and then you see, oh, that's what happens next, and then you go shoot it.
Okay, well you've seen it.
So we're just doing 9 now. I haven't seen 10, and I have no idea what they have planned for the finale.
Right. Is there an arc that you're heading towards? I mean, I've only seen the first one that just aired yesterday.
Yeah, well, stuff has happened. Yeah, but you never know what you're heading towards on Weeds.
Right,
things happen and then they change completely, and I've been working a lot with Jennifer this year, which has been really great. Jennifer Jason Lee.
Is that Mary's sister on the show?
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay.
She did 8 episodes of the show, and so So that was a lot of fun. But she's gone now, and we're off to new things, and we shall see.
Crazy. We do something called. Actually, before I get to that, I mean, now you got your own show. You're working with animals. It's just got to be super cool, just as an actor, just to be able to play with those things and do all that. So what goals are left for you as an actor? What do you still really want to do?
I don't think of things in a like, what's your dream, this or that, or what is your goal. The best part about it is, like I said, you wake up one morning and you're doing something you never thought you would be. So the thing I like about it is just every day's work. What are my scenes today, and go off and do it.
Cool. So we do something called 5 questions, 5 quick questions, 1-word answers.
Cool.
Spielberg or Scorsese?
Oh, yeah. You think I'm going to answer that?
Come on.
When one of them could give me a job one day?
All right. These guys won't give you a job. Well, maybe. You never know. Lennon or McCartney?
Well, that's of course I can't ramble on, can I?
The 1-word answers. You can.
I'm going to ramble anyway. I'm only going to say Paul because I feel like he gets short shrift in the world of brilliance or genius, and Paul McCartney is one of my great heroes. I'm a big pop nerd, like a power pop nerd, and he is the godfather of all of that.
Cool. De Niro or Pacino?
Once again, not going to do that. But I've worked with Al Pacino, so.
Oh, have you? Oh,
Angels in America.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Role you're most proud of?
Role I'm most proud of. I can only say something douchey like the next one.
I get that a lot. I hear that a lot. That's good though.
Yeah. Actors are wishy-washy. Sorry, I haven't given you one proper answer. Let's try it again.
It's fine. Well, this one should be fun. In 1 word, animal practice.
Fucking hell.
There you go.
That was it, I guess. I think that was it.
No, I can't print that.
No, you can do with the asterisk and the exclamation.
If you want me to, absolutely.
Sure.
All
That's 2 words, but
I'll hyphenate it. It's fine.
you can put, if you feel exasperated in parentheses before that. Yeah.